Psychic Vampirism 101, and this is coming from somebody that practices specifically with Astaroth and other daemons and deities from the Goetia, as well as texts such as the sacred magics of Abraham the Mage and a few other things in that vein. So, if you've watched some of my other videos, I've talked about energy magic, specifically the energy ball. Now, tonight, I'm going to talk about psychic vampirism and how you can use it as a weapon to protect yourself, as well as go on the defensive without going on the defensive. So if you think somebody is sending things at you, that's going to be the avenue of tonight's class. What I do with my own journey in psychic vampirism is this. Once I've become more energy sensitive, and I started doing this literally whenever I was in junior high. I came home one day and I was telling my grandfather about it, and he was like, yeah, that's psychic vampirism. What happened was, I was sitting in history class, bored as shit, and was falling asleep, and I love history. So here I am, falling asleep, and I want to stay awake. So I just literally started imagining tentacles that were golden in energy coming out from my different chakra points. And I instinctively went with the solar plexus. Like literally, I could see it in my mind's eye and feel it from where I was already practicing with energy balls a lot. Felt that energy literally come out of my belly button area and attach to the person that was sitting beside me, to their solar plexus. And I could feel that energy being pulled from them into mine. And the next thing you know, I was hyper as shit. So a couple days go by, and I start trying it again in the same class. The teacher that I had that year was very monotone. He was just like, and this is this, and this is that. And I'm like, I love this class, but he's putting me to sleep. So this particular day, I was like, well, I felt really hyper. I've tried it on a couple people that were sitting immediately around me. So this specific day, I will that energy to come out of my solar plexus again, attached to the guy beside me, but then I made that tentacle grow an extra tentacle at the end of it, to where it split off and got the girl beside me. Now, she was always in a bad mood, and I instinctively knew that my tentacle needed to have like energy flowing inside of it to change her energy around. And what I did was, I unattached from the guy beside me, and then willed my tentacle that was energetically like coming out of me like an umbilical cord to start going. I could feel her energy going in a counterclockwise motion. So I literally willed it to go clockwise until I could feel her energy changing as it was absorbed into my tentacle, which made me, again, super hyper. Well, as I practiced this, again, when I was young, I started imagining it coming out of my heart chakra to somebody else's heart chakra, my throat chakra to another throat chakra, my third eye to another person's third eye. Just all of my chakra points, just all just sending out tentacles at different people, and if they were in a bad mood or negative, I made that tentacle go in a clockwise spinning motion to change, like literally sticking your finger in water to get the water changing direction, like making a whirlpool, to change their negative energy that I was trying to absorb into a positive energy that was going to benefit me. Now that is what I have done over the years, but I remember after about, in hindsight, probably about a week to 2 weeks of practicing this, I was telling my grandfather about it, and he was like, yeah, that's psychic vampirism. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, it's a form of energetic vampirism. And I'm like, explain. So, he's telling me about, well, some people can be super negative and they just draw everybody's energy in. That's your standard energy vampire, whether they realize they're doing it or not. A psychic vampire is somebody that can actively practice this and drain the energy from others. And he told me, from where I had been doing the energy shielding, and I had gotten to where my bubble was about, I could visualize it about 8-foot radius around me at any given time, like I was walking with this bubble boy through high school. And there was one particular day that, of course, I got bullied because I'm openly gay, and back then I was a lot more feminine than I am now. bullies were picking on me, and that was like the one time my grandfather would always be like, those are the ones you can curse. I won't do it, but I'm going to teach you how to do it, because that you need to be able to do that. So I'm sitting in class. The bullies have been giving me hell that day, and there's one that always sat behind me. So I am specifically feeding on him and feeding on him and feeding on him until he just falls asleep, to the point that he literally peed on himself in class. And what I was doing was draining all the energy I possibly could from his root and sacral area. And that's specific targeting. That's how you can cause things to happen with psychic vampirism to another person with their physical being, is making a deficiency energetically in that area. So he got bullied. But going into being able to protect yourself, when you create that energy shield around you, an energy bubble, and you think or know somebody has been sending baneful energies at you, even bindings, if you become proficient at this enough, make your bubble. Send your tentacles out to where they expand beyond the bubble to grab that energy, feed on it. Again, spin it in a different direction, but you're also going to be pulling it through your energy shield as an extra filter to help nourish your own chakra points. So I hope this little lesson helps someone. I do psychic vampirism empowerments with Moloch, Astaroth, and some of the other deities that serve under Astaroth. You can find some of them in, of course, most demon dictionaries. Abraham the Mage's sacred works, and of course, there's a book that I highly recommend to people, The Rites of Astaroth. It's in from a publishing company called the Draco Press. There's a lot that will help you develop psychic vampirism through them. But I do a specific empowerment that is in my tier on my Patreon. It is on my $20 tier, so I'm just going to throw that out there. But if that's something somebody's interested in, by all means, you can check that out. I do have free tiers where I do offer some of the basic lessons. None of the harder stuff, but in my basic stuff. And I will do protection spells for people that are in my membership tiers. So you're just not going to get as much out of me in my freebies with certain types of magic. Now, I will do a basic protection spell for people, but just saying. So anyways, I hope this helps some people with psychic vampirism, because you can use it to protect yourself if you think somebody is targeting you. Just like if somebody attacks me astrally, I will definitely take advantage of that. And whenever they're attacking, I'm like, all right, okay, I can feed on you. That's gonna be fine, you know. And I am a huge person that talks about having servitors and egregores to protect you whenever you're sleeping or things of that nature. And all of mine, I teach how to make in a psychic vampirism aspect, so they can essentially become self-sustaining, and I'm not always having to energize them. They're getting energized off of people that are trying to cause me problems. But again, with psychic vampirism, use your chakra points. Create an energy tentacle once you have become successful at feeling your energy expand outward. If you're feeding off somebody that is negative, just try to always have it in your head that clockwise, oh, I just got burned off the incense, is positive flow, counterclockwise is negative flow. So if you feel energy coming from someone and it's counterclockwise, or it's kind of like really sluggish, that's going to indicate their physical health in some cases, or their mental health that day, or just in general. Everybody's different. But make it go clockwise when you're absorbing it. It will empower you, it will give you a little bit of a boost, and it will help you in your journey of learning to protect yourself without having to race home, to cast spells, to call on your deities. I mean, I encourage people to call on your deity anytime, anywhere. But psychic vampirism is a great way to protect yourself as well as increase your magic. So, y'all have a great evening.